Good morning, my friend. Tuesday morning and May the 25th. Excited about what God did yesterday. I had a good day yesterday studying for Wednesday night as we continue our series on prayer. And I'm excited about what's going to happen in Maranatha Baptist Church. If you're watching this, be sure to be in church on Wednesday night. The lesson about prayer is going to be phenomenal. You're going to want to come and see how your prayer life can be enhanced by what we learn about prayer on Wednesday night. And I'm excited about it and seeing what God can do. Wonderful night out soul winning last night. Got to follow up with a couple people and then able to lead someone to Christ. And today in Oklahoma, it's kind of a cool day. We've had a cool spring. And normally by right now, we're in our 90, close to 90. And I don't even know if we're going to hit 85 today. That's amazing for us. But I'm thankful for what the Lord's doing. Of course, this week, pray for me. My daughter gets married on Thursday, and I'm excited for her and for her future husband, Randy Hall, and what God's going to do through them in the ministry. If they keep their heads straight, serving the Lord, that's where it's all found. And so I'm excited about what's going on this week. I want to read to you this morning from Psalm 107, verse 30. The scripture says, "Then are they glad because they be quiet, so he bringeth them unto their desired haven." Now, we enjoy reading the phrase, "he bringeth them unto their desired haven." But we fail to see what they had to go through before they got to their desired haven. You see, before they got to the blessings, they had to start their journey to get to the other side. They had to have the faith to do business in great waters before they got to the other side. Now, they had to go through the stormy wind and endure the waves that were so high that the only thing they could see was the sky. Now, listen to me. They had to get to the point where their soul melted because of the troubles before they got to the other side of God's blessings. However, they didn't quit. You see, when they faced the waves and winds of adversity, and when they wanted to quit because they couldn't see the way, they didn't quit. That's why God was able to bring them to their desired haven. Now, we want blessings without adversity, but you'll never see God's great works and blessings without adversity. It is while you are in adversity that you see the great works of God. You see, the young preacher wants God to use him to build a great church without adversity. But I'm telling you, it's the adversity that God builds the great church. If the young preacher runs every time adversity comes, he will never see God's great works in his ministry. Now, the believer wants God to bless them and use them, but they don't want to go through the adversity where God's works are performed. Now, let me point out several things about how you can get God's blessings on your life. First, you're never going to see God's blessings of the other side without doing God's works. Verse 23 says, "They that go." God doesn't work through sitting believers. Listen to me. I'm telling you, but he works through going believers. You only see God's works through the lives of others as long as you'll only see God working through others' lives as long as you sit and do nothing. But God will start working through you when you get active. But he never works through the passive and plain believer. Too many people are seeing God's blessings, but they're not experiencing God's blessings. Second, you'll never see God's blessings of the other side without attempting great works of faith. Verse 23 continues to say that do business in great waters. At some point, you've got to launch out into the deep by faith to see where God works the greatest. You'll never see God's great works by just standing on the shore. You have to risk everything by faith with God before God begins to show you his abilities to do great works in the great waters of the deep. Third, you're never going to see God's blessings of the other side without adversity. Verse 24 says, "These see the works of the Lord." Who is it that sees the works of the Lord? It's those, you follow me now, who are in the stormy winds, who are in the deep, where the stormy winds blow and where the waves mount up to the heaven. It's in the adversity where God shows his power to those who launched out into the deep. I know you thought God would bless you by stepping out by faith. But what you didn't consider is that faith brings adversity so that God can do his great works. The key to this whole passage is when they're so melted because of trouble. And when they came to their wits' end is when the Lord showed his power to deliver them from the distress and brought them to the other side. You see, you've got to understand, if you're trying to play it safe by staying on the shore, you're not going to get the blessings of the other side. Now, let me ask you something. Are you at your wits' end today with your troubles? Let me encourage you that those you are close to, that you are close to being delivered to the other side of God's blessings if you don't quit. You're about to see God do the greatest works in your life if you'll keep going and keep trusting the Lord. That's when God's blessings come, my friend. You try to stay safe on the shore, you'll never see the great works of God. Oh, you'll see God do great works from others that make it to the other side. But the enjoyment of the Christian life comes by going through the storm, through the adversity. You get to know God better, and you get to the other side. My friend, I hope this is an encouragement and a help to you. Remember today, be good to everybody. Everybody's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.